Hi, I'm Chef Tenney Flynn from GW Fins. We're a fine dining seafood restaurant in the French Quarter. We do a variety of seafood. We print our menu daily, but today we're going to be making mock shoe. Now I realize I'm not from Louisiana. This is a Louisiana dish. I've been here 15 years, so that kind of gives me, I'm not exactly a carpetbagger anymore. There are many different variations of this dish, kind of like as many different ways to make jambalaya and gumbo. We're going to start off with a little bit of bacon fat in a skillet and a little bit of butter. Fairly low heat. I've got some diced Vidalia onions that I'm going to sweat in there, and that just really means cook soft with no color. So I'm going to turn the fire down a little bit, and I'm going to cover that up. And while that's cooking, I'm going to go over here and start cutting the main feature of this dish, which is corn. Got some nice fresh corn here. And what I want to do is just barely shave the outside of the kernel. And then I'm going to come back and scrape the other part. This is going to leave the woody part on the cob. Before I'd ever heard of mock shoe, I made cream corn this way. Actually, there are dishes in other parts of the South that are fried corn, which is very similar to this. You just scrape the cob with the back of the knife, and this creamy, see the wood stays on the cob. The creamy part in there actually thickens it up somewhat too. Okay, our onions are softened up. They're translucent. Well, you can smell that bacon. It's just a little bit of bacon fat in there, a little bit of butter, and we're going to add our corn with the scraped corn milk. Mix that up in there. I'm not going to add any liquid at this stage. There's plenty of liquid from the corn. I am going to add a little bit of this Creole seasoning and a little bit of salt and pepper. And we're going to cover that up again and let that cook slowly. Alright, our corn is pretty much cooked. I got the rest of the ingredients lined up here, and really the only things of these that are going to have to cook, I've got some diced tomato, some green onion. The tasso is already cooked, as is the roast red pepper and the bacon and the herbs. The seafood is almost an afterthought. With a lot of seafood dishes, the garnish or the side dish is what takes a long time to prepare. And cooking at home, that should always be done before you put the fish or whatever type of seafood you're cooking to cook. Okay, diced tomatoes, in with the corn. I'm going to raise the heat a little bit. Green onion. I had to move to New Orleans before I found out those were called shallots. One of the many things we do a little bit differently here. For this amount of corn, I'm only going to add about a tablespoon of this diced tasso. This stuff is pretty strong. A little bit's great, but a lot can be overpowering. And then my red peppers, which are already peeled and seeded. Green peppers are fine in there too. I've really got the green onion for color. A little bit of diced cooked bacon. A little bit more diced cooked bacon. Alright, everything in here is done. I'm not saying that it couldn't cook a little bit longer. And a drop of heavy cream. Some people mix an egg up in milk. I'm going to add at this stage. That's certainly good too, but this particular recipe does not have an egg in it. Just plain. There's a little bit more seasoning at this point. Salt and pepper. I like kosher salt because as I get older, I can see it in the food bag. I've got some fresh Louisiana shrimp here that we buy from a guy called the Shrimp Guy, which is Roy the Shrimp Guy. A lot of us here in the quarter buy shrimp from him. You see the truck. These are fresh 1620 shrimp. I'm going to put a little bit more of this Paul Prudhomme shrimp seasoning on there. And I'm going to cook these almost not at all, because I'm going to finish cooking them in this dish. Peeled shrimp need almost no time at all to cook. And I've got some Louisiana crawfish tails over here and some Louisiana jumbo lump crab meat. Any or all of these things would be good, or this would be good as a side dish with no seafood in it, or it would be good with a piece of sauteed fish on it. It's just good. A little bit dry. I'm going to drop more cream. I think the first time I ever had this dish, it was crawfish Marszalek. It was good. Like I said, I've only been here for 15 years, so I'm from way up north in Atlanta. I didn't even know that was way up north until I came here. Now I've learned that Shreveport is way up north too. But it is true that that I've lived all over the South, and Louisiana is more of a different country than it is part of the South. Got a little bit of color on these shrimp. I don't want much more than that, because like I said, they're going to finish cooking in this Marszalek. We're lucky to have such seafood to pick from here. The most fun part of my job here, I think, is the purchasing part, because we do print the menu every day, and it's based on what we get and what we keep. And the fresh crawfish tails are going right in there. They're already cooked, but I'm going to heat them up just a little bit. Shrimp are finishing cooking in the corn. If I had been organized as I should have been this morning, I would have already picked this crab meat, but hey, got a restaurant to run as well as this. These are nice jumbo lump crab meat. The crawfish juice kind of deglazed the pan a little bit there and got that shrimp fond off of it. And the only thing I have left to do with this, just let it cook long enough to get the crab meat hot, adjust the seasoning, add a little bit of chopped chervil and parsley. Alright, we're entirely done now. Boy, that smells good. Here's our finished Marszalek, shrimp, crab, and crawfish from GW Fans.